Hi friends, welcome back to the Rogue Educator, where we talk about all things education and story. My name's Katie, and it has been a hot minute since I have uploaded here to YouTube. I just thought I'd chat for a minute or two about what I've been up to and kind of my ideas and thoughts for this channel. So let's get started. Well, first of all, I completed and won, NaNoWritMo in November for the first time, which is like a huge personal goal to just persevere and build some grit and write down those 50,000 words. And the story is, of course, a hot mess, but it's 50,000 words and they all kind of go together. So I'm going to call that a pretty solid personal win. However, it really dulled my love of reading. I went into a huge reading slump and a huge writing slump in December and decided that I just needed to do whatever I wanted to do. I watched a lot of TV. I hung out with my family. I enjoyed Christmas, and I didn't really do much of anything quote unquote productive. And I feel great. I have entered January. It's off to a great start in terms of reading. I am thinking about picking up that novel or opening up that document again and kind of seeing where it takes me in 2020. So that's kind of what I've been up to and why I haven't been on YouTube much. But my hope for 2020 is to share with you loads of what I'm reading and also what I'm watching on TV, because books and television shows and movies are three modes of storytelling that I absolutely love. I actually took myself to see the last Star Wars movie here a couple of weeks ago. I just went by myself, and it was so refreshing to just be immersed in the story and be forced to put my cell phone away and not feel like I need to carry on a conversation with anyone around me, and just to be in the dark with the big screen in front of me, and decided that some future goal of mine is to have a movie club membership to a local theater. So that's on my wish list. But for now, on this channel, I want to share stories with you, and I really want to do some more focused, intensive educational videos, because that is an area that I am super passionate about. And at the moment, I am a stay-at-home mom, which I love, and it's exactly what my family needs right now. But my heart is definitely still in education. So those are kind of my loose channel goals for 2020. And for today's video, I just want to share with you some of the books that I have been reading in January and the books that I hope to read during the rest of the winter quarter. All right, first up, let's talk about the books that I have already completed this January. A couple of them are audiobooks and a couple of them are physical books. So the audiobook that I just finished is a book called, where is it? There we go. Sorry about the glare. It's still wrapped in plastic because I have a physical copy, but I also found it on audiobook, which is I take in the information better with my ears. But anyway, it's called Liturgy of the Ordinary, and it's by Tish Harrison Warren. And this is a book that I listened to kind of to encourage me in my spiritual walk. It talks about finding God and living out your walk in your sort of daily, mundane, making the bed, sleeping, eating, all these kinds of tasks, and how all of those things point us back to God. And it was super encouraging, especially as a stay-at-home mom, where my daily grind looks very much the same every day and very often feels like I get nothing done, sort of. Nothing seems to be finished and completed ever. Everything is sort of in a state of almost done, or I just did it and now I have to do it again. So anyway, super encouraging book. If you are a Christian, if you are a stay-at-home parent, if you are, interested at all in liturgy, like religious services and kind of the history of the church and how that connects us to our daily lives now, this is a super good book. I highly recommend. Another book that I have completed in January already is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I am a huge John Green fan, and obviously can't compare brothers' writing just because they're brothers, but this is Hank's debut novel, and because I love John's writing so much, I obviously needed to pick it up and give it a shot, and it was excellent. It is an excellent debut, great, flawed, believable, lovable main character, and a really intriguing story. A little bit of contemporary, a little bit of sci-fi. Yeah, I really liked it. It was a great book. So highly recommend that, especially if you love contemporary, if you love raw, gritty, flawed characters, and if you love sci-fi. It's a little loose on the sci-fi, but very good and very interesting, and I think maybe set up for a sequel. He's working on a second book. So I don't know if it's a sequel or not, but either way, I am a huge fan of now Hank Green and John Green. I also just finished Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This book is lovely. It's atmospheric. The cover is gorgeous. I felt like it got for me, a little confusing and convoluted in the middle. But I really liked the strong female protagonists, and I liked that they sort of took control of their own fate and their own destiny, even within a culture that made that really difficult. They persevered and made it happen and solved a lot of problems for themselves and their communities. And then there's, the retelling of Rumpelstiltskin thrown in there. It made for a good story. For me, it took some pushing to get it to push myself all the way through the story. Okay, so another audiobook that I am currently listening to is called Monsters of the Week, the complete critical companion to The X-Files. So, fun fact, I love The X-Files. I got into it in high school during the 7th season, and have just loved it ever since. I loved the dynamic between Mulder and Scully. I mean, obviously, I was a high school girl. But I also love the sci-fi. I love the horror, and I love the mythology and the conspiracy theories. Makes for a great story. Okay, so yeah, Monsters of the Week, a complete critical companion to The X-Files. I've got this on audiobook right now. It's by Zach Hanlon and Todd Vanderwerf. And so far, it's a great listen, great read. I'm getting a real kick out of it. So, and it's just interesting to read about or listen to like a critical analysis, I guess, of my favorite TV show, because it kind of bridges my entertainment life with my more academic leanings, I guess. So, yeah. All right. I am currently reading also Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This has been on my TBR like forever since it came out. And I have seen a fair amount of mixed reviews on BookTube. It's kind of a love it or hate it kind of style of writing. And so far, I really love it. I'm very intrigued by the story, and I'm not super far in, I don't know, maybe 100 pages, but really enjoying it so far. All right, now we're coming to the books that I would like to complete this winter quarter. The first one I'll actually probably read in the next 2 days, because it is the third in a trilogy that I have just devoured. It's the Truly Devious trilogy, and this book is called The Hand on the Wall, and this is by Maureen Johnson. She is a great storyteller, great pacing, love the characters. They're just super fun to hang out with, and the mystery has just kept me on the edge of my seat, and I sort of don't have any idea what's going to happen. So I'm really excited. I gobbled up the first 2 books last year, and am really excited to read this one, seriously, in the next 2 days. Also on my TBR for winter is Vow of Thieves. I read Dance of Thieves, or listened to it about a year ago, and I loved it. So I'm excited to see what Vow of Thieves brings, both in the relationship with the main characters and also the political situation in this world. All right. Next up, I have Well of Ascension, the middle book in the original Mistborn series. I read The Final Empire last year and enjoyed it. I like Sanderson's writing. His books are really long. He's a good storyteller, though, so it's kind of why I have been putting it off, and also because I was in my Post-NaNoWritMo reading slump. So hoping to pick that back up again here in the next couple of months, along with the final book in that trilogy, The Hero of Ages. Okay, and the final sort of category I have is I have been wanting to get back into like old-fashioned reading, I guess. And, I majored in history in college. I probably would have majored in English had I not had a high school teacher tell me, don't go to college and major in English because it will ruin your love for reading, which was probably good advice for me personally. But last year I tried to participate in Victober, which is, for those of you who don't know, a readathon in the month of October where you try to read different types of Victorian novels. And I picked up a fairly short, relatively simple Victorian novel. And 3 pages in, I was like, I don't have the mindset to absorb this language at the moment. And I got frustrated. And so my goal for 2020 is to rebuild those muscles and start exercising them again so that when Victober rolls around, I feel more confident and more connected to that type of language again. So the books I am going to show you right now are not Victorian novels. However, they do have more of that high-end English lit kind of vibe. So here we go. Anyway, the first one is Generations of Winter by Vasily Aksinov. I don't know. It's a very Russian title. This is a very Russian novel recommended to me many years ago by a professor in college that I really enjoyed, but was way over my head. So I'd like to give this a shot. And it is January in the northern part of the United States. And so there's a lot of snow in my backyard right now. And this just seems like a great read for winter. So I'm going to give it a try. Generations of Winter. And then last up, I really want to read this beautiful version, mostly because it's just a pretty book, of the Canterbury Tales. So this is, Middle Ages English storytelling, obviously in updated language. But I'm excited. I loved reading snippets of this when I was in high school, and one of my favorite experiences in my AP English class was when we had to write an in-class essay on one of these. I don't remember which one, but my teacher loved it so much she wanted to share it with the class. And I adored this teacher and thought she was super smart. And so I was really honored that she wanted to share my essay on whatever Canterbury tale we had read that day with the class. So I'd like to read the whole thing. So those are my plans for winter reading, and I will hopefully see you again soon with an educational-oriented video. Have a great day. Bye.